Hello everyone, Muckluck Douglas Bartholomew Reginald Esquire IV here, and this is a guide to the Cold War Strike Mission. For those who don't know, a strike mission is 10-man content that is meant to be an introduction to raids. You can get loot from strikes once per day, instead of once per week like raids, and you get bonus loot if you kill the boss within a set amount of time. Additionally, at the time of making this guide, strikes are one of the best ways to get ascended gear. Cold War is the 7th strike added to the game, and I believe it to be easier than the Bone Skinner or the Whisper of Jormag, but possibly more difficult than the other 5 by a small margin. How to get there? The easiest way to access this strike is with the portal in Eye of the North. There is also a portal in the Drizzlewood Coast in the Umbral Grotto. Recommended group composition. 1 to 2 healers. If you are brand new to the fight, err on the side of caution and bring at least 2. Standard buffs if you can, a warrior with banners, a ranger with spirits, people that provide quickness, alacrity, might, etc. Beyond the healers, the rest of these aren't required, but every additional boon makes the fight much easier for your raid. Once you enter the instance, make sure you hit the pylon and get your buff. It doesn't take long. They improve the pylon in here so it stacks more quickly. If you have the mastery and wish to do so, you can interact with the United Legion's way station to get the electromagical pulse or the remote charge at the beginning of the instance. The EMP gives you another way of breaking bosses' break bars, and the charge is a source of area of effect damage and also a launch. Once you begin the fight, many weak enemies will swarm you. Just AoE them down, stay near your banners and spirits, and don't wander too far away. Occasionally, you will see a Frost Legion Cannoneer hanging back and shooting at your team with a Charzuka. Pole skills work great for these, so bring a couple if you can, such as a Reaper's Spectral Grasp or a Ranger's Path of Scars. Once killed, he will drop the Charzuka. Have someone pick this up and use it to shoot down the helicopters. Major note here, when you pick the item up, it forces you into action camera. You don't target the helicopters, you have to manually aim at them with a little dot in the center of your screen. A note for the healers. When the Charzuka wielding people are aiming upward at the helicopters, they are terrible at moving out of red circles. They will need babysitting. You will fight up to 4 mini-bosses depending on how fast your group kills the enemies. The Champion Icebrood Coden, Champion Ice Giant, Champion Icebrood Goliath, and the Champion Icebrood Beast. While fighting everything up to this point, you will occasionally get special action keys. One is the standard Kamehameha that you had on previous strike bosses with the mastery, the other calls down an airstrike. Before the final boss spawns, save your airstrikes for huge clusters of units. Use the beam whenever you feel like it. You don't get to keep the button for very long if you don't use it. Once enough time has passed, all the remaining mobs and mini-bosses will turn invulnerable and flee, and the real boss enters the area. Varinia Stormsounder, the Minister of Morale. She is the reason I rank this strike harder than the other entry-level ones, not because of everything else up to this point. Let's go over her skills. Lethal Coalescence. It's a green circle. Everyone stand in it. If you leave one person in it alone, they will likely die. Infantry Attack. Some of her shield bros spin into the arena. Avoid them. Small circles that spiral out from her, which ice falls onto moments later. Avoid it. Specialists incinerate them. A few mage-type char send in flame walls from the outside, attempting to box you in. Try not to touch the walls. Assassins strike swiftly. Every player will see a red circle under their character. You need to dodge roll this. A char will spawn behind you and attempt to backstab you. This will immediately downstate the average player. A wave of ice that moves out from her in a line. Avoid it as best you can. Engineers! Obliterate them! Landmines will cover the entire field, and some char who have had a bit too much to drink will pop wheelies and try to run you over. More things to avoid. Balloons! Occasionally these balloons will float in. They cannot be damaged by normal means. They will try to float up to players and explode. Either dodge the explosion or hit them with crowd control. They can be killed if you hit their break bars. A reminder, if you are unclear on what break bars are, we do have a guide for that on the guides playlist on this channel. Icy Echoes discourages players stacking as a player does damage to others while attacking in a radius every 2 seconds. The damage is not major. With good healing, this can be completely ignored. Or if you wish, you can watch for this buff and spread out a bit when you see it. She does occasionally emit a CC wave. I believe it can be jumped over. She only uses this move a few times. She will get a break bar periodically, which you can stun. Remember your EMP from the way station to make her ease up on her attacks. Now that sounds like a lot of information, so let's condense this. Stand in the green circles, avoid any other circles and aimed mechanics, dodge roll the red circle that's at your own feet, which is the assassin, and interrupt anything with a break bar that you can. Jump over the wave. It isn't that bad. Once she is defeated, a giant chest spawns immediately, and little chests spawn one by one. Don't leave the instance too fast until you're sure they are done spawning. The most I have seen so far is a total of 7, one big chest with 6 little ones. You can run this repeatedly for loot and mastery credit if you wish. I already tested this by running it 5 times on release day. And that is the strike. I really enjoyed this one, and have added it to my daily list of things to do. I hope this guide makes it easier for some of you and less intimidating to give it a try. And remember, those profit shards you loot from all strikes can be used for ascended gear from the merchant in Eye of the North. If you enjoyed this video, please consider leaving a like for the YouTube algorithm, comment if you have any questions for me or additional input, and subscribe if you would like to see more content. A special thank you to my newest Patreon supporters who help make this possible, and if you are interested in becoming one and getting earlier access to anything I create, there is a link in the description. My in-game name is muckluck.9082 if you need to reach me there, or talk to me live any evening on Twitch after 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Click the follow button there to be notified when I go live. That's it for today. Now go give the Frost Legion the cold shoulder.